Hello, this is Dragon Tame 1400, and this is All Grown Up Season 2 review. Now, this season actually turned out a lot better than I remember after rewatching it. So, on the screen, I'm going to show you the episodes and my ratings, and then the average score. As you can see, we had some pretty bad episodes, Is He or Isn't He, and Fools Rush In. But other than that, I mean, the season was pretty all around great. I mean, we had Bad Aptitude, which was okay, but we also had some really great episodes like The Finster Who Stole Christmas, Saving Cynthia, Miss Knows It All, Minwall of a Finster. So the episode averaged out to 8.14 out of 10, which, you know, just rounds down to 8 out of 10. So actually pretty much the same rating as last season, which I'm surprised. Now, the episode did have some problems. One of the problems is Phil and Lil did not really have an episode of their own. Last season they had one episode, and it was just the worst well, I think I considered it the second worst, but it got the lowest rating of all the episodes that season, just from bad writing. Now, Phil and Lil are officially the most underdeveloped characters of the series. Phil got a little more development than Lil throughout the last two seasons, just because he was a more comic relief character. We get to see him more because he kind of lightens the mood. Lil, on the other hand, we don't know much about her other than she's organized, and that's really it. I mean, I can't really think of anything else. I guess we do get to see her being embarrassed in that one episode. Other than that, it just really hasn't been a good series for Lil. And like I said in like the last season review, we don't really get to see Lil get any character development until season 3, The Big Score, which that episode's coming up. I'm not sure exactly when in season 3 that happens. However, that's really the first Lil episode we get. Phil is actually a major character in that episode as well, so we'll get to see a little more of him, which is always good, you know. Him and Lil just did not shine this episode. I mean, Phil did have that one part where he won the science fair in the science pair, which was really good, and how he won was just like he cultivated bacteria. I just thought that was really funny. But other than that, I mean, we didn't get to see much of Phil and Lil. Let's take a look here. I mean, we got to see a little bit of Lil in the science pair as well, but that was more her relating to a guy, which you can't really get too much character development out of a girl when they're just going kind of a little bit boy crazy. We got to see a little bit of her in Susie's Choice, as I already mentioned, the whole side plot, which I personally didn't like, but let's move on. But other than that, I mean, Phil and Lil didn't get much character development time, unfortunately. Now, another character who didn't get that much character development time was Dill. I mean, he was in the 2 worst episodes of the entire season. Fools Rush In and Is He or Isn't He. There's the only 2 episodes that got any character development. And the first one, Fools Rush In, we've already seen that plot between Tommy and Dill. I think it was 4 times last season. There was way too much, and they didn't need to add another one that kind of diminished what we've seen. So Fools Rush In was just an all really bad episode, except for the side plot dealing with Angelica, and I'll get a little more into that in a little bit here. Now, Is He or Isn't He was just a bad episode overall, and as I explained in that episode in kind of detail about how Chuckie was considered an antagonist and everything. Now, Dill did get character development in that episode, which is why he actually did get development in this season, and we got to see that he put Chuckie before his imaginary alien friend. So that was good. We got to see a little bit of character development in Dill, but other than that, it was just bad. Now for some good points, actually. We got to see Angelica develop her character quite well. We got to see Miss Knows It All, Susie's Choice, and Saving Cynthia really just revolve around Angelica. And Miss Knows It All, we got to see huge character development in her. I mean, not Susie's Choice. Miss Knows It All and Saving Cynthia. in Miss Knows It All, we had to see her being selfish, but at the end she was selfless as she read to that kid. That was really good. We also got to see her in Fools Rush In as a side plot, which really should have been a main plot of an episode. It was just a great side plot, and it pretty much saved the episode from being a horrible score. I mean, it still got 5.5 out of 10. However, it would have got way worse without Angelica's side plot of her taking pictures, embarrassing pictures, and posting them on her site as Angelica. So I thought it was really good. And if that was a main plot, we could have seen Angelica like learn a lesson. As I said before, Angelica and Chuckie are the two most developed characters of the entire series, and the reason for that is because they have faults and they learn from their faults. This season shows that perfectly. We got to see Angelica grow and Miss Knows It All, and saving Cynthia as she realizes Susie is actually her best friend. And that was really good to see an episode focused on Angelica and Susie becoming best friends. They had like a sisterly rivalry still going on, but that was really good to see that developed between those two characters. And as for Chuckie, he had Is He or Isn't He? Bad episode, not going to talk anymore about it. The Finster Who Stole Christmas, where we really learned what Christmas was all about, and that was just a great episode overall. And Project Chuckie, which at the end he learned that he can be popular, but he doesn't want to be. So he was really good in his own skin. So we got to see great character development from Angelica and Chuckie, and also Susie too, as we saw her in Susie's Choice in Saving Cynthia. She wasn't as in many episodes as I would like. However, Susie's Choice was just an episode that was just focused around her, and that was great. We got to see her really struggle with the decision, and it was great to see Susie, like a perfect character for the most part, really struggle with something, realizing she can't do it all and she has to make this choice, and her struggling, is it going to be her career or is it going to be helping her team out? She ends up helping her team out. She ends up doing the right thing. However, she really struggles with the decision. She almost doesn't. So that was great to see a character fall in Susie, who's displayed as this perfect character. We got to see that last season too in Susie Sings the Blues. So that was really great to see Susie. Now, who do we have left? Kimmy is one of the people we have left. It was great to see Kimmy in Minora over Finster. I would love to see her character more. She's my favorite character. I'm just going to be honest. She's my favorite character. And in Memoir of a Finster, that was just a great episode to see her. We got to see her struggle with really her heritage and really that she's not a real Finster and everything. However, she's part of the family. I talked more about that in that episode, so if you want more, you can go back to that review. However, I just love that episode, and I love the character development we got to see with Kimmy. Wish it happened more. However, that was great. Now, Tommy got Bad Aptitude and Science Fair. We got to see some of his character development in Bad Aptitude. However, I mean, it wasn't the greatest episode. It wasn't like the best, but we got to see him struggle with his art and then going to something else and then realizing that he loves his art, he loves filmmaking. So that was great to see. In Fools Rush In, I didn't like that. In Science Fair, that was good. It was really good to see Stu and Tommy's like father-son relationship go on. And it's really good to see Tommy end up doing the right thing. I thought that was great. Now, one thing I don't really mention that often is the music, but I really thought the music was good, like in Susie's Choice and some of the other episodes that really show music. I don't really talk about it that much, but last season and this season, every time they have music in it, I think it's actually pretty good music. I mean, it's not like the greatest, but it's definitely pretty good. I really like it. The transitions, I really like these transitions. I barely even notice them, which is always a plus. I said it in many of the reviews. And they did change the whole boxy transition. I'll show you a picture of what I'm talking about. From last season, they didn't have it once in this season, as far as I could see. Maybe they did, but I didn't even notice. So, 2 thumbs up there. Now, The animation, overall, it has improved greatly. The character models have improved immensely. However, I will say that last season had some really good animation scenes, and this season I don't really recall it had like amazing animation scenes. One episode in particular, it was season 1, episode 13, Lucky 13. It had this really good scene of Savannah's locker, and it was just very detailed, very detailed out. It was just, I thought it was a great like scene animation wise. And here we don't get to really see that like immense detail, but it's like the animation's better overall. It's more like static. It doesn't go from like great animation to bad animation to medium animation. It's more like medium animation throughout the whole thing, which is good, but I really like to see some really spikes in the animation and have it really good from time to time. But that's just me. Now, as for the structure of the whole season, first and foremost, is he or isn't he shouldn't have been an episode. Fools Rush In, it should have, the side plot of Angelica should have been the main plot. They needed an episode kind of Dill in there and of Phil and Lil. And Chucky's episode, the last 3 episodes were based on Chucky. They should have like spread that out more throughout the season. That's one thing I noticed even last season, that they like grouped episodes together to focus on characters for the most part. I mean, they spread it out a little better, but this one, having the last 3 episodes focus on Chucky, would like to see like more spread out in the whole season, because we didn't get to see much of Chucky for like the first 8 well, Interview with a Campfire we did. So besides the first episode, which could also be the last episode of season 1 depending on what you're looking at, so from episode 2 to episode 7 we need to see like anything of Chucky, even as a side plot thing. So I just think that was a mistake. They should have done like one episode in between there, and the structure would have like flowed better, because you kind of like forget about Chucky, and that's just my opinion. Other than that, I think the season was really well. It exceeded my expectations a lot, and though it got like a slightly lower rating than last season, and I think I give that season a 7.5 out of 10 during my rating, I'm going to give this season an 8.5 out of 10. And one of the reasons is, well, The Finster Who Stole Christmas, Interview with a Campfire was pretty good. It had a lot of 10 out of 10s, and there was just a few like bad episodes overall. Saving Cynthia, and I really think the season as a whole did kind of focus around Angelica and Chucky and their character development. And as I said before many times and will again, is that Chucky and Angelica are the 2 most developed characters in this series. This season also had Kimmy star in an episode, and we got to see great character development, and since she's my favorite character, that's always a plus. We didn't get to see much of Lil, Phil, or Dill. I don't know what they had with those 3. Maybe it's just they rhyme. Who knows? However, we'll see more of them as the series progressed. And we got to see a lot of Dill last season, so that's okay. Now, I forgot to mention 2 things. One was like the morals overall. I thought the season did really good with the morals overall. They did mention God in The Finster Who Stole Christmas, which I personally think, as a Christian, think is great. And I thought the morals overall were pretty good. We got to see, like I said, with Chucky, being yourself is good. With Angelica, she got a really good lesson on being selfless instead of selfish. So I thought they did pretty good with the morals overall. And also, my favorite episode and my least favorite episode. My favorite episode had to be between The Finster Who Stole Christmas and Miss Knows It All. Now, I think it's obvious I like The Finster Who Stole Christmas better because they mentioned God, because of the whole lesson, because I just think it was a great episode overall. Miss Knows It All is a great episode, and that's why it's runner-up. Now, my least favorite episode is either between Is He or Isn't He, or Fools Rush In. Now, I think you guys already know from my review of Is He or Isn't He, it's my least favorite episode. I didn't like how they put Chucky as the antagonist. Now, Fools Rush In was pretty bad too. However, Is He or Isn't He is my least favorite episode. Anyway, thanks for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed the review. See you guys in the next one. Bye.